Okay, I'm about to make my first stringer for the boat. As you can see, I've cut these two boards like yesterday. I painted them with the fiberglass, the vinyl ester. So I painted both sides, all the edges, all around. Then I've drilled a lot of holes all down through here and all down through this one, because I'm going to epoxy the two together to make one thick stringer. So you have my little marks there where I want it to be, like right there. So I'm going to run epoxy down through here. The holes are to let the epoxy escape out here, so I have a good, adhesion to let the air pockets and let this ooze out. Then these holes will be full of epoxy, and these two will be glued together with a thickened epoxy. And then these holes are where I'm going to attach it to what's left of the existing stringers. And I'll drill holes in them, and I drilled holes in here. Then I'll screw them all together with the epoxy paste between the two. So this will be the first stringer that I replace in here. I'm gonna go over here. So it'll be that far one there. And then the next one in is one of the old epoxy, the old transman stringers that goes to the knee. And I got to pick me up some more plywood for that one. I thought I would start on that first outermost one, start building that side. It's almost all thick enough now that I could put a stringer in, then apply some more epoxy and up the side some more. It's almost thick enough. I took the board out of the top of the gunnel yesterday. I've taken the engine puller off the back that was holding up the back of the boat off the transom here. I took that off. I took the board that I had screwed in underneath the mold on the gunnel over there, just like this one. They're strong enough now. I got a board screwed under here, like right there's 2 screws. Down here's a couple screws. I take this board out, then maybe I can pull this mold out of here. It goes up and it goes up and over and like that. So let's see if we get around over there. Yeah. So on this side, I've taken the board out of here and even pulled down on the mold some. It was starting to crackle like that good sound when you're pulling the mold off of your layout. So I still haven't trimmed off this side. I've been grinding on it some, thickening it up some on top here. Getting it ready and grinding all around. But that's what this part is. And then after I get it in there, I'll be laying more around here and up there, because this is almost to the finished thickness of the side. I think they call that the freeboard. I'm not sure. So you got the gunnel, freeboard, the floor, the hull. And so I've almost got this thick enough. There'll be some more 1708 here and some more 1708 here, and then I'll be laying it up. I'm gonna have to fillet some of these here. The factory didn't round off the tops either, but they didn't put any fiberglass on. They glued the floor to the tops of these, so I don't know yet. I'm thinking about putting putty down the top of these, or I might get glue and put down the tops of these and fiberglass up to there. Fiberglass the bottom of the floor that's going to go in here, definitely. Top and bottom, the floor is going to get it, because I am trying to seal this out, no foam. Going to have compartments. As you can see, there's a lot of compartments in here. And I read a lot about people saying, if you hit something, it's going to bust. Well, you're not going to bust all the compartments at once. You might knock a hole in one, but, they're all going to be separate. You can knock a hole in one, it's not going to do anything. I never seen one get a hole knocked in it, but then, you know, I'm in Charlotte Harbor, and this harbor is not known for rocks. It's mostly sand. Everybody runs up on sandbars and gets stuck and stuff. So, you know, running into rocks and stuff is pretty uncommon around here. So that's just my thoughts. So I'll bring you back when I get some more stringers in here and start laying up on that and see how all that goes. Okay, I thought I'd bring you back in here now so you can see the oozing out along here. See, those are the holes I drilled to let it ooze out. Get any air pockets out in between the two. And there it's oozing out all along the seam on the top. Then I'm going to go in there and screw it to the old stringers. And that's why these holes are just air holes. Let it ooze out when I screw it into that, just like here. Then later I'll cut those screws all off, and then fiberglass over it with the tabbing and everything to the floor. So that's what we're looking at here. Yeah. Silica and epoxy. Made some epoxy peanut butter, you might call it. Okay, that's it for the moment. Well, I'll tell you what, if you use this epoxy, you better be quick. I'm using slow hardener. And I got it out on the stringers and glued them together. And I mixed up about there. And I know you're not supposed to leave it puddled, not clumped up. So I spread it around inside this cup, and then I did spread it on top of the stringers I was putting together, and it lasted long enough to get all over the stringers and squeeze them, and came out the holes good, and that all went great. But at the very last, this got so hot and clumped up I couldn't get it out, and it's melted holes through the cup. You can see right there. I was trying to stick it in my stir in it and it was so hot it melted through the cup, and I couldn't get the last, so I wasted that much. This stuff's expensive. I really hate to do that, but man, oh man. And it was smoking. It was so hot, so I had to set it on an old piece of fiberglass here and set it on the floor and let it cook off, and so now it's ready for the trash can. But you know, they say, and you can't do that with fiberglass resin either. You can't leave it in a puddle. You got to spread it. But you know, I have probably, you know, I got these cups here. You know, this one I've used so many times. It weighs like 10 times more than the cup did before. I've used it so many times. But I probably mixed 30 or more of these cups, and maybe up to here. But I've never had any harden. I think one or two started to get gel down here because I didn't use it fast enough. I mean, so you can't do it with resin either. But I mean, this wasn't long. This is slow hardener, but it still got on it like I was fast. So, but you know, I just had to mix another little batch up and throw it on there. Then I have to tell you about I'm taking a little bit of my mold off. You know, these are the boards I have screwed across there. This is from the other side, and where the seam was on the board, like that, you know, I put screws to hold it down good, and then I put tape over that, like, you know, packing tape, and it did not stick to this stuff. And this is a piece that went under my gunnel, so as you can see how I had shaped it for the gunnel like that. This stuff works great. It came off. I'm so excited. It came off there as soon as I gave it a chance. As you can see, nothing stuck to it. And I'll take you over here and show. If you get a chance, use that for your mold, because it is great. And you see here, this is slick. I mean, paint won't even stick to this. I'll have to rough it up. It is like glass. where that, this is some more of it. See how I screwed it down? These screws go, and then I sawed them off inside so they don't go through the fiberglass inside. Then I'll just fill the little hole, like there's a little hole. I'll grind that and fill that up later. And this is another piece I might take off. It's exciting when you take your mold off and see what you got underneath there. But this worked great, and you can see up here that, it made that up here as smooth as glass all the way until right on the edge here, which I still got to trim this all up, and then the bottom of this goes up against it. I'm hoping I can, this was the original, I'm hoping I can heat gun, take this corner out and take it on down through there. If I don't, I'll have to just buy a new rub rail. But I'm trying to use what I got, and then I'll grind down through here and then overlap it and smooth it in. But man, I just can't believe how well this is. So smooth. This is like glass, And then there's my next piece there to take off. I'll get around to it, and this is like what they make signs out of and stuff, and you can cut it and bend it however you want, make inside, outside corners, and I didn't wax this or anything. I know some viewers said, well, did you wax that? And I said, nope, I just put it on there because it didn't, I did a test piece and I glued it on, I fiberglassed it onto here, and it just pulled right off easy. So I said, I'm not going to worry about it. And this is like glass here. Whew. If you get a chance and you need to make a mold, make it out of that stuff. That's that whole bottom, that tunnel there, it was perfect because the glass came up, did inside corner, outside corner, across, back another inside corner, and then another outside corner, and went on. Man, that was the easiest mold. Oh yeah, and I have that in there. That's epoxied together, and then epoxied and screwed to the old stringers. And then after that sets up, I'll get in there, and I got space on the other side to get under it with the goo also, and make my fillets and everything. Might even put another piece on the other side of that. If I got enough wood, I will. I have to go get some more board. Got a deal to go get a piece of this 3/4 here for the center. Those stringers are about 1 foot tall, so I'll need a lot of that, go all the way back to the knee, all the way up there, and overlap on those. So, and then I'll have this other board I'm cutting up for this, and I might even put another one on the other side of that, just because I can. Yeah, won't be long. I'll have to do some plumbing, get them rigging tubes back here. But yeah, that fiber, that epoxy, it works great. It is tough stuff, but you really got to watch it when you mix it up, because even with slow hardener, it got hot in that cup, started smoking and turned hard, and I couldn't get any more out. And it got so hot the cup melted, and my stick went right through the side of the cup. Says, well, that's all for that. Like I said, just mixed it a little bit more. So here's a little update.